somebody that is catastrophically injured is not in a position to call you, so it's a family member
Exactly.
that calls you. Why should they call Tim Misny as opposed to hundreds of thousands of other attorneys?
Tony, in any situation like that, I like to put myself in their shoes. And if I'm making that call for a loved one, I want to go with someone who's been there so many times before, okay? In one of my commercials, I say, there's a lot of great lawyers out there, and I know many of them. They're wonderful people, but you gotta ask yourself a question, the threshold question. What if their best just isn't good enough, right? So if I'm selecting a lawyer for a loved one, I wanna make sure that that person has been there many, many times. And when you drill down to it, Tony, the other thing is they have to have the resources. Yes. In our cases, in our major catastrophic injury cases, we put a ton of our money into it to facilitate the case, to bring in experts from all over the country. It gets expensive real quick. And the other thing is there's no substitute for experience. I've done this for over 4 decades. There's nothing that I haven't seen, okay? And I know how to navigate through that maze. Now, when I talk about navigating through the maze, that sometimes is the most important thing. Communicating that with the client is critical. So we pride ourselves in our ability to communicate. I've mentioned to you that my clients have my direct dial cell phone, and I give it to them for a reason, to call me.
Yep, just gonna ask you this. I mean, trust has to be number one,
right?
But accessibility. I think a lot of people are concerned or nervous about hiring an attorney who disappears, right, and they can't reach him.
Right, well, that never happens, and what I say to clients is that communication is a two-way street. Okay, so I want to know what's going on so I can be an effective advocate. So if the client is doing worse, if my client is having more problems or can't work, I need to know this. And so the communication is a two-way street.
This is good stuff, sir.
Yes, sir.
I like doing this.